I am coming to double check that all the doors to the coop are closed. Oof. We're even gonna count everybody. Good morning, chickies. How was your night? The reason I was out here last night double checking everything is because we woke up Christmas Eve morning to find out that someone who had put away the chickens had not secured this door. So this door was wide open and we lost 4 chickens, and it was a really bad way to start the day. Also, the dog fence that we have, it was dogs. So the dog fence that we have was also not closed. If that had been closed, it might not have happened. So now we have, I'm going to come out and check every night. After the kids put up the chickens, I'm going to come and double check everything just because we got lax. And that was a really big deal because we've had the chickens since they were babies, and some of them even since they were eggs, and they all have names, and I mean, you know, they're kind of like pets, so they're ridiculous. They also are lazy and don't do things, so I'm gonna rake up. Look guys, let's rake up some ground. I bet if you look in here you can find something to eat. So even though I love the chickens, think they're great, they do have a bad habit of coming in my garden and scratching up stuff. So I had planted some garlic, and of course they came in and just scratched up all my garlic. Not all of it, but enough that I was mad. So I went ahead and fenced in the whole garden. It's temporary fencing, but I had just enough to stretch it around this portion. I didn't do the new portion. I don't have enough fencing for that, but hopefully this is chicken proof. And I feel like you should be able to tell it is warm here. So Christmas Day, we had the hottest Christmas on record for our area. It was in the 70s, low 70s, it was like 70 degrees. It was warm, and it's warm today, and it's really nice. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put more stuff out. So I already planted the garlic. I got kale that should be growing, but the chickens kept eating it, so it's not. And then I have some cabbage, and I'm gonna go ahead and plant it, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I'm sure as soon as I get everything out, it will snow. So I feel like this is a prime example of one of the problems that I have here. Let me show you this tray here. Believe it or not, when I started this, there were things growing in all of these cells. And then the chickens came and ate them, and probably some other things too, but I couldn't put them in the ground because the chickens could get into here as well, and it was cold. At least I thought it was gonna be cold. The fence, I think, will make a huge difference, and it's one of those things where I just kept banging my head against the wall trying to do this, and I didn't have the structure in place to keep the chickens out. My son today said, it's hard to have a farm when you have chickens, and I was like, yeah, it is, unless you keep them you know, in an enclosed area. And we thought about that, but I think it would be too hard for us to actually keep them in the fenced in dog pen area, as we call it. I don't know how we would actually manage it. We'd have to have a very high fence or clip their wings, which I really don't want to do. And I don't know, I figure they're pretty good as long as we put them up at night and close all the gates and everything. I think they lead a pretty good life. Nothing really attacks. We haven't had too many problems with them just wandering around the yard out during the day. But anyways, back to the garden. So now I'm hoping that my kale, you can see how it's just been ate up. These ones, oh, I'm sorry, this one definitely. There's also some bunny rabbits that have been in here, and I think they've been doing that as well. Hopefully they will stay out. This weather is wild. So I have some lettuce coming out, and my strawberries are coming up right now. I mean, I hope we have winter, but at the same time, it would be bad if everything kind of comes back to life as if it's spring and then we get a frost or freeze. That would probably be really bad. I will say, even though the weather is a little off-putting and it does have potential for bad storms and tornadoes, which is what I don't want, the extra sunlight, the green grass, the blue sky, this has been really good for my mental health this year. I know maybe struggling with other reasons why mental health wouldn't be so good, but the weather is not one of those reasons this year. It's beautiful outside. I did not get a chance to clean up this whole section of the garden last year because there were yellow jackets. There was a nest over here of yellow jackets. I'm hoping they don't all of a sudden come back out and attack me. But so I just basically left everything here, and there were a bunch of cherry tomatoes growing here, and I didn't pick any of them. So there's going to be tons of cherry tomatoes coming up here in the spring. Don't mess around with yellow jackets. If you know, you know. Okay, so not too long ago, I decided one of my composting efforts was going to be to get some stuff in the chicken coop and let them kind of compost it. So I put a whole bunch of wood chips and a whole bunch of leaf. We raked up all the leaves and put them in here, and my thought was that the chickens would kind of, you know, scratch it up, but they're lazy and they don't. And so I just did this a little while ago, so it's not super composted, but I'm going to see how it looks. Okay, I did up a little section. They're very excited. Not completely composted or anything, but there are a lot of worms doing the work. There's lots of worms in here. I'm going to take some of it and put it over where I'm planting. Y'all, it is so hot outside, I had to change into a short sleeve shirt. It's hot in December. I planted my seedlings, sad little seedlings. You can't even see them. They'll probably die, but it felt really good to get out and get my hands in the dirt and use some of the gardening tools my husband bought me for Christmas, which is awesome. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the weather turns out this year. And I'm so happy about this fence. So far the chickens have just walked around the garden and look frustrated. They could fly over if they wanted, but hopefully they won't figure that out. So until next time, guys, that's all I got.